This holiday, whether you're making a Kroger Simple Truth turkey for 40 or a Murray's Baked Brie for 2, Kroger has fast, fresh delivery and free pickup, so you can make holiday meals that bring you all together to create memories that last. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Free pickup on orders of $35 or more. Restrictions may apply.
Choose from a great selection of digital coupons and use them up to 5 times in one transaction. Check our app for details. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hello, and welcome to the Healthy People Podcast. My name is Callie. I'm your podcast host, and I am so freaking pumped to have you here today, listening, joining me for another fun week of all things balanced, wellness, girl chat, everything, all the goods. Today, it's a spill the tea kind of day, and I have a lot of tea to spill. So on that note, let's start by just recentering ourselves, checking in with ourselves, slowing down, whether you're walking, whether you're working at school. I don't know if anyone's at school right now because of holidays, but you get the gist. If you're taking a break from holiday chaos and just listening to an episode, I'm glad you're here. Let's self-check in, okay? Okay, wherever you are, I want you to just close your eyes. If you're driving, do not close your eyes. And then take a big inhale through your nose. Fill up your lungs with so much goodness, so much just confidence. Embrace it. And then on your exhale, open your mouth and just sigh it out. Let it go. Release any tension, anything holding you back. Just choose to release. And now, I want you to ask yourself, how am I feeling today? On a scale of 1 to 10. As you answer, don't judge yourself. Just meet yourself where you are. And now ask yourself, what is something that I can do that is going to help me feel a little bit better today? Maybe that's listen to the podcast. Maybe it's get a nice little cup of tea going or moving your body. Now ask yourself, have I drank water in the past 30 minutes? I have not. And so I want you to grab a cup of water with me. We're going to chug in 3, in 2, let's hydrate. I've been so dehydrated lately, and water is like a game changer. Anyways, now ask yourself, have I stood up in the past 60 minutes? If not, let's stand up. I'm standing up with you. Shake out the legs, shake out the arms, get the blood flowing, and then sit back down. Okay, now ask yourself, what is one thing I want to accomplish before 2022 ends? Can be anything. Dream big, my gorgeous queen. We have what, like 10 more days? 9? And now ask yourself, what is one thing that I can do to give back some love to the world today? Maybe that's checking on a friend, give to some toys to a toy drive, or just give a stranger a smile, or hug a family member. Can be anything. And now, last question is, I want you to tell yourself, what is one compliment, something you love about you? Hype yourself up for 1 second. Okay. I'm so excited you're here. I feel like I'm on something right now. It's currently Tuesday. I'm recording this the day before this releases. Oh my gosh, you guys. It was one of those days where like everything started out so chaotic. I slept in. I needed to sleep in. I was going to wake up at 6 a.m. I've been on my 6 a.m. morning routine grind. But today was not one of those days, and I slept in until like, I think 8:30 or 9, and then I was getting coffee with this girl that I've become friends with. You guys, I have a friend. In the place that I moved, and I live in Florida. A friend in Florida. I'm so excited. So we got coffee today. She's like super cool. And she works in social media full time, as she has her little social media business. So shout out my friend Taylor, literally so cool. You guys, I have a story to tell you about this girl. Basically I met her through a mutual friend that I previously knew when I lived in Miami. But the crazy thing is that this girl, my friend Mackenzie, was like, yeah, I have a friend where you live named Taylor. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I wonder if it's the same person. So I was looking at this coffee shop in my area that I love, and this girl's like bio popped up, and I clicked on it, and I was like, I think she lives in my area, but I wasn't sure. And then my friend Mackenzie was like, oh my gosh, yeah, Taylor, my friend. I looked, it was like the same girl that popped up in my Instagram. So anyways, I was like, cool, God moment, let's reach out. So I reached out, and then we like hung out, and today was just like so fun. So anyway, I'm pumped. Today's been a really interesting day, a lot of ups and downs, but it started out chaotic because I lost my wallet. And then I kept losing things. I lost my phone. I lost my keys at one point. I was trying to drink matcha simultaneously while wearing white pants because I was going to do a photo shoot after. And anyways, somehow I did not spill matcha on my pants, but I ended up just tearing apart my entire backpack trying to find my wallet. And then my boyfriend comes in the room. He's like, hey, I found your wallet. It's in your jacket. So I had like a literal panic moment for no reason, but got my wallet, went to coffee. I was running like 10 minutes late, and I hate being late. So I was like kind of in like a stress mode sort of vibe. I get there and it's like everything chills. We're all good and have a really awesome conversation with Taylor. We talk for like a couple hours, and then she like offers to go help me take pictures for this brand giveaway that I'm doing. It's currently running on my Instagram. If it ends on like the 22nd of December, but if you're listening to this tomorrow, definitely go and enter it. It's with this company Particle, and we're giving away some cute holiday stocking stuffers, so go enter that. Shameless plug. Anyways, we took pics, and it was chaotic because basically the product that I was taking pictures for arrived yesterday, like last night. I had to take pictures and post it in the same day and get it approved by the brand, and I was just like in stress mode. I don't know. And then I kind of did this to myself. I thought I was going to fly home for Christmas tomorrow, but it ended up being on Thursday. So I was like, oh my gosh, I have so much to get done today. But then I was like, I noticed that it was going to be on Thursday instead. And I was like, okay, wait, actually I have an entire day tomorrow. But then you guys, I feel like I'm like overwhelming everyone with my entire life right now. But anyways, the moving company that shipped our stuff from New York, all our furniture arrived today as well. So thankfully my boyfriend was handling all of that while I was like running around like a madman, like trying to get all this stuff done for my business. And I also tried out a Pilates studio today, and I have so much tea to spill on that, but we'll get into that. And then I missed a meeting. I was like completely late for it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I literally didn't even realize I had a meeting today at 2 p.m., even though I set it up like yesterday. So yeah, I'm just struggling right now with organization, if you can't tell. So after I record this podcast, I'm going to hold myself accountable to writing down all the dates of everything that is due. But this is just like welcome to my world. Welcome to holiday madness as an entrepreneur who has an online Pilates studio. With the new year gearing up, this is like the busiest time of the year for me. So I'm just feeling chaotic, but that's besides the point. Enough of dumping my issues on you guys. I'm genuinely just like in moments like this when I feel like I'm like so ungrounded. It's actually insane. I just have to take a step back, take a deep breath, and realize that it's literally such a minute problem, and that life does, like, I don't have to put so much pressure on myself. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, I challenge you to take a deep breath right now and just tell yourself it is all going to work out. Okay? So more life updates, you guys. It has been like the past 48 hours it's been unique. So I did some blood work at this like med spa in Jupiter, Florida, and I got my results back yesterday. And I wanted to like get my hormone levels checked because I've been having hormonal acne ever since I got off birth control like a year and a half ago. So I get my hormone levels checked, only to find out, one, I'm insulin resistant, which is like freaking me out right now because I have to figure out how to like change my diet to like eat in a way that is gonna help prevent this from getting worse. I think it's genetic. I have no idea. Anyways, but what I'm getting at is I was extremely, extremely triggered yesterday. And I know a lot of you guys told me that you've been struggling with body image and struggling with just like counting calories and weight, like seeing your weight number on a scale, all that stuff. And listen, I don't weigh myself for a reason. I don't count calories for a reason. I've had a really, really tough relationship with food and my weight ever since I was in second grade. it's horrible to say this out loud, but I would literally measure my waist with a tape measure when I was 8 years old because I was so aware of like weight at literally 8 years old, which is so sad that somehow our society like pushes that on people at such an early age. Because like why should I know that at 8 years old? Anyways, I don't weigh myself, and I stepped on this scale and I weighed like 20 pounds heavier than I thought I did. And then it gave me like a body mass index reading, and it like, I looked the number up online and it literally was like obesity. You guys, you've no idea how hard it was for me to not start like sobbing in that moment, just because like I felt so incredibly triggered. Like I know for a fact that I don't struggle with obesity. Like I live a very healthy lifestyle, and like I'm very proud of my body inside and out. Like I really truly love my body, but in that moment it was like seeing that number and just feeling all of the old feelings coming back up that I used to experience when I'd weigh myself. It was really, really upsetting, and I cried so much last night, and I genuinely felt just like all this, just these toxic, awful thoughts in my mind. Like it was the weirdest thing. Like, all these comments that people have made about my body in the past were just washing through my mind. And I literally was just like not in a good spot last night. And so today, thankfully, I feel like I just, you know what, in this moment, I was like, I can either let this ruin me and spiral and go back into my old toxic path of thinking about my weight and thinking about health and wellness and fitness and eating, all that stuff, or I can fight this and I can show up for myself even more than I already am and show my body extra love today and see it the way that God made it. So today I've genuinely, like, it's the funniest thing. Like, I was really low confident last night. I did not feel hot. I literally was just, I was like, it was like embarrassed. Like, I literally wanted to just wear like sweatshirts and sweatpants and just, it was weird. But today I put on a really cute outfit. I put on a matching white legging set with like a cute cropped sports bra top thing. And I just put on some light makeup, did my hair, and you know what? I felt confident. And yes, this morning was chaotic and I was extremely overwhelmed with like everything happening at once. But I just realized now in this moment that I have been so kind to myself today. And I've caught myself when mean thoughts are going through my brain, and I'm just being loving to my body. So if you're struggling with body image and you're struggling with weight, I just challenge you to like be so kind to yourself when you're going through this, because in the moment yesterday, I was like, I can either go one of two ways. I can spiral or I can come out on top and beat this feeling. And you know what? Beating the feeling, it's really freaking powerful. And I'm even more proud of myself than I've ever been when it comes to feeling triggered. So I know that Christmas, if you celebrate Christmas, it is this weekend. And with the holidays, I know how hard it can be to like release any old toxic thoughts and feelings around food and like quote unquote falling off routine, not having like the same routine that you do when you're at home, if you're like going to visit family or friends, whatever. So I just challenge you to every single day this week, compliment yourself in the mirror. Be your best friend. Knowing that this can be a triggering time of the year, make an effort, put a phone reminder in your phone to hype yourself up. Also, I challenge you and me to hype other people up as well. The holidays can be really tough for a lot of us, and I remember last year I was stuck at home in my apartment in Miami alone because I had COVID and I couldn't travel to see my family, and it was like extremely depressing, and it made me realize how tough the holidays can be for people who don't have a family or have close friends. It can be a very lonely, isolating time. So I challenge you to just show people extra love this week. If someone's mean to you, I challenge you to literally smile or like just show them love in some way. Don't let their meanness affect you. People are mega projecting this time of the year because it's just chaos. And also you just don't know what people are going through. So I just want to challenge you, and I'm challenging myself. Let's be really loving to ourselves and to others during this time. Okay, so now I want to move into something that just randomly like popped into my mind. I went into a little spiral. I guess this is like our topic today. I don't know, but I went to a little spiral about on TikTok. I don't know if you guys like follow this girl. You probably do. She's like mega popping off, and her name is Alex Earl. And you guys, I literally just saw like it's so funny to me how like TikTok works. It's like drama. It spreads so fast on TikTok. But anyways, I got caught up in like reading about her breakup with her boyfriend or whatever. And it made me like think a lot about my previous relationships and reasons why I've ended previous relationships and how I've continued to stay true to myself even while in a relationship. So I guess you could say this episode is all about confidence. I want to just want to give you some tips and tricks on how to like really be yourself and be confident, and how to empower yourself and feel like an independent queen and glow and just slay and be amazing and all that stuff. So that's just kind of like the gist of it. So I want to first like talk a little bit about, I feel like I've been talking about relationships a lot lately on this podcast. You guys have been liking it. So we'll talk a little bit more about relationships and singleness today. Anyways, there's a specific thing I want to chat about with one of my previous relationships and social media in particular. Because I realized that this girl, Alex, was feeling something that I felt before. And I wanted to address it for my girl boss queens who have big dreams, aka you. And this is important no matter if you're single or in a relationship. In my previous relationship, I dated this person for 4 years. And when I first started dating this person, I did not have a social media account. I did not have a business. I was just a college student working at a juice bar in Miami as my little part-time job. As 2020 hit, that is when actually 2019, I started a blog called I'm Sweaty and I Know It. And at the time it was so small. I think I had 100 followers on Instagram, got like 50 page reads every single week. It was small and it was just starting. But then when COVID happened, I started posting fitness videos on TikTok because I also was a fitness instructor at Pure Barre and a reformer Pilates studio in Miami. So my friends were like, Callie, you should start a TikTok account. And I was like, no, like that's for middle schoolers. But anyways, I eventually caved in and I did it. And my TikTok started to really pop off and I wasn't expecting it. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, like this is like getting people to read my blog. Like this is like building my little blog dream. And I always looked up to this blogger, Skinny Confidential. Her name's Lauren Everts. You might listen to her podcast. It's him and her podcast. And I remember her being like a huge inspiration for me. And I was like, I'm dreaming big here. So as my social media starts to pop off, I start to get more Instagram followers. I get more TikTok followers. I start a YouTube channel. That starts to grow. And then fast forward, it's like fall of 2021, I think. And I'm like extremely serious about this now. Okay, so if you're not on social media, you probably don't already know this, but social media it takes a ton of time to be a creator. It doesn't look like it's that much time when you're watching videos because you scroll by them so fast, but even a 7-second video can take 30 minutes to an hour to make, let alone having to think of an idea, all this stuff. Basically, a lot of creators post a ton of content. Some content reaches people, some content doesn't. It's all trial and error, and it's essentially a full-time job. So I was working my butt off. I was grinding, like building my business was a huge thing for me. And I was dreaming so big, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to open an online Pilates studio, all this stuff. So let's backtrack a little bit. I was in a relationship with someone that I started dating in 2017. 2018, I don't even know the year. And this person did not like social media. They didn't even use social media. And so for them, I think it was really weird seeing like they were dating a version of me pre-social media. And then when I started having social media, I changed a lot. And my priorities were no longer, let's hang out for 8 hours a day and it's all about you and me. It was now, I'm building this business. Like, this opportunity isn't going to last forever. Like, I have to take advantage of this. God didn't give me this for no reason at all. So let's make a difference in the world, kind of thing. And that didn't go over too well. I felt a lot of weird remarks whenever I'd pull out my phone to make a what I eat in a day video. It'd be really right now kind of remarks. It would be just weird shaming remarks for trying to grow something by filming things. It was mainly the filming things, taking pictures. It was these weird remarks that would make me feel very shamed of what I was doing. So anyways, last fall, I ended up ending that relationship. It got to a point where it wasn't even about social media. It wasn't about anything. The relationship, I just knew it wasn't the right person for me. And that can be really tough when it's not something and actually happens. It causes a relationship to end. But there's let me tell you, my queens, there is a gut feeling that you have when it's not right. And I was in denial for so long about this gut feeling. So anyways, I ended things last fall. And that is when I really started to thrive. And I don't mean this in any disrespectful way to the person I was dating, but I started to just come out of my shell. No longer was I afraid of any weird comments about me filming videos or taking pictures or posting whatever captions or, there was no more comments. It was me. I was single. I was thriving. I was taking risks. I was posting things that were maybe a little bit too TMI. Honestly, I don't think anything's too TMI. I think posting struggles online is so helpful because it helps people going through it and makes them feel not so alone. So I was an open book. I'm sharing everything out there about my breakup, all this stuff. And then I got a message from my ex's sibling. And it was about me being disrespectful for posting about my breakup, all this stuff. And genuinely, it shut me up. I started holding myself back. And I started to question, oh my gosh, is this post going to offend so-and-so? Is this the right thing to say? All this stuff. And I started to really be obsessed with people's approval of me. And eventually that started to fade a little bit. And I continued to try to be my most authentic self. But the point of the story is that in this relationship, I let someone dull my sparkle. I was afraid of growing. I was afraid of changing. I was afraid of evolving because I wanted to continue to be the person that the person I was dating at the time had initially fallen in love with. So to my girls who are in a relationship right now, or guys, whoever is listening to the podcast, if you're in a relationship or not, don't let the person you're dating try to suffocate your dreams. Because it's selfish. If they really love you and care about you, they're not going to try to hold you back. I'm now in an amazing relationship with someone who's been on the podcast, who you guys keep wanting to come back on, so I'll have to have him back on soon. But what I love about my relationship now is how supportive and encouraging the guy I'm dating, his name's John, how encouraging he is of what I'm doing every day. I no longer get shamed for being hey, do you mind taking a picture of me right now? I no longer get that weird feeling of insecurity if I'm growing. It's no longer any of that. It's pure support and love. And so the reason I wanted to just talk about this right now is literally because I know so many of you guys are in relationships, and I know how easy it can be to be blindsided by love and to be in a sense, almost worshiping the person you're dating and trying to make them happy constantly. But you have to realize that you're here for a reason, for a purpose. And if you're holding yourself back to make somebody else happy, then that's literally missing out on the reason why you're here. And I know a lot of the times when we try to make other people happy, we have a servant heart. We just want to love and make them happy, make other people happy and make the whole world happy. But you have to make sure that you are also following your dreams. Don't let someone else hold you back. A guy, a girl, a friend, don't let someone kill your dreams, because you have those dreams for a reason. And I think something that's been really helpful in my relationship now in terms of like establishing independence and knowing who I am has truly been space. I'm not sure, I think I mentioned this in one of my other episodes, but something that I'm working on right now is breaking out of codependency. Living with my boyfriend, it's hard because living with my best friend is like it's living with your best friend. So it's like I want to hang out with him constantly. I want to be with him constantly. But I realize like that's not healthy, because then we're molding into the same person. Where what's really healthy is to make sure we have our own space to fill our cups every day. We have our own separate morning routines, and we'll usually, like, if we're at the home or house at the same time, like we'll eat lunch together. Like we'll obviously like hang out with each other at night and stuff, but it's really important. You never feed your pup mystery meat or spoiled grocery store food. So why are some of the most common protein sources in kibble today? Yep, the ingredient meat meal is often made of spoiled meat and plant scraps. Gross, right? That's why Dr. Marty decided to make his own dog food called Nature's Blend. It's a premium freeze-dried raw formula made of turkey, beef, salmon, and duck, which naturally supports your dog's youthful energy, health, and happiness. And has a delicious flavor they'll go crazy over. You guys, when I gave Axel his Nature's Blend, he spent the next 5 minutes trying to find it in the room because he wanted more. Right now, they're offering a special for Healthy Be Human listeners. Grab up to 54% off Nature's Blend by going to drmartypets.com/Callie. That's drmartypets.com/CALLIE. Your dog will thank you. And that we have our own independent lives. And if you're in a relationship right now and you feel like you're codependent, I seriously challenge you to have a conversation with the person you're dating and bring up how you're feeling, because we both were feeling the same way. And I can't remember which one of us brought it up first, but yeah, it wasn't a nice thing to hear, obviously, that we're both struggling with similar feelings of needing more space and all this stuff. And it doesn't mean that you don't love the person you're with, but it genuinely just is so healthy to be your own person. And moving a little bit more into healing from breakups and how to really glow up into the best version of yourself, I don't think that taking care of yourself is selfish. In fact, I think it's selfless, because when you take care of yourself, breakup or not, you are going to be a better version of yourself and have more to give, more love to give to the world. So I think some things that really helped me heal, in my breakup, in low points of my life, things that have consistently helped me really be the best version of myself and feel confident and feel like I'm just know my worth. It's truly been as easy just establishing a morning routine. I know it sounds so simple, but since moving down to Florida, I was not feeling like my best self for the past few months. I was on the go. I was nomadic. If you've been listening to the podcast, you already know I was just I was all over the place traveling to the West Coast. And I didn't have time to be alone with myself. And let me tell you, having a 2-hour morning routine has changed the game for me. And a morning routine does not have to be 2 hours at all. It can be literally 10 minutes long. But what's really important here is to make sure you start your day off on the right note. Start your day off with things that fill your cup. Start your day off by spending time just being still. I'll tell you my morning routine right now. I mean, I wake up in the morning and I'll either read scripture and spend time with God, or I'll go on a walk and then do Pilates, and then I'll make breakfast, and then I will put on a cute outfit, and that's basically it. It's literally so simple, and yet it just makes all the difference. Let me tell you, today I did not do my morning routine, and it's been a chaotic day where I do not feel like my best self. So, one, if you're in a relationship, make sure you have your morning routine. Make sure I know how easy it is to want to stay in bed and cuddle with your person and not get out of bed until they get out of bed. I've been there. That was me this morning. But you have to make sure that you give yourself what you need and you don't sacrifice your needs just to spend extra 5 minutes or 10 minutes of cuddling with someone else because you don't like to function without them. And I'm like talking literally from experience. Like, this is how I was. I would wake up at the same time as my boyfriend, and we'd like, it was like we just kind of lived like the same life together, but it just wasn't good because neither of us were giving ourselves what we fully needed. So anyways, speaking of this morning's chaos, I wanted to like quickly give you a little piece of advice if you feel like you've just been all over the place, feeling chaotic, feeling anxious, feeling stressed. And the one thing that I'm like literally obsessed with, and I've talked about this before, is Magic Mind. I like to call Magic Mind almost like a little juice shot pick me up that you take in the morning, you take whenever. I find myself a lot, like if I wake up early, like 6 a.m., like I've been saying, if I drink coffee right away, I want to have like 2 or 3 more coffees later on because I crash. But what's super cool about Magic Mind is it has matcha in it, which contains less caffeine than coffee. So it helps prevent that spike of cortisol levels. Basically, you don't get the inevitable crash that comes from ingesting too much caffeine. I like to think of matcha like basically nature's extended release version of caffeine. And also Magic Mind has ashwagandha in it, which is really helpful if you deal with stress and anxiety. So it basically gives you caffeine, but you're like mellow at the same time, which is like such a vibe. I've definitely noticed I've become more productive and more focused, and I get a lot more done in less time because there's nootropics inside that help improve your attention, concentration, and cognition. It really works for me, and I would definitely encourage you to try out as well if you're having trouble being at 100%. Some days it's such a game changer. So if you want to go and check them out, use my code HEALTHY20 for 40% off your first subscription or 20% off your first one-time purchase. My 40% off code only lasts 10 days, so definitely hurry up and go to magicmind.co/healthy. That's MAGIC mind.co/HEALTHY. Okay, you guys, so this is totally random, but every Monday I ask you guys some of the struggles that you're going through at the moment. And I wanted to just kind of like, these all tie into being your best self. So I wanted to pivot a little bit and just chat about some individual topics really fast, just firing it off. And if you don't already follow me, go to I'm Sweaty and I Know It on Instagram. And every Monday I ask you guys, do like little self check-ins on my Instagram stories, and you guys love them. So if you haven't already, definitely check out next week's. But let's get into this. So a lot of you guys were having issues with motivation to study, motivation to work out, motivation to stay on routine, motivation to talk kindly to yourself. And I have a lot of episodes that are solely chatting about motivation. But something that I've really learned and realized throughout my journey, let's just talking specifically about fitness. I've been working out, you can say, since I was 8 years old because I was a competitive athlete. And so part of training for figure skating was working out. When I quit figure skating, there was definitely a weird transition period of, okay, wait, I'm no longer working out for like a goal to say on ice, like seeing on ice performance improvement is a direct result from exercise. So I no longer had this just like athletic goal. My new goal was like, okay, well now what was the point of exercise? I love exercising. I want to keep doing it, but like what's going to motivate me? And in that moment, my motivation turned into, I want to change my physical appearance to fit in with other people. And eventually my body did see some results, but it turned into, it's just never enough kind of feeling. And throughout my journey, I've just learned time and time again that you just can't rely on motivation to get things done. I was motivated yesterday to film TikToks and to post content on social media. Today, I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's like beyond me. So if I just relied solely on motivation to run a business, I promise you it would not exist. If I relied solely on motivation to get myself to move my body every day, to feel good, it wouldn't happen because we're human. I'm human. I am an extremely emotional person. Some days I feel extremely happy. Other days I don't feel good at all. And so I've just learned I have to be consistent with myself. I have to be disciplined, but not like strict discipline where it's restrictive. I have to make sure that I'm doing the things that my body and mind need, no matter what. And rest day is something that I need. but moving my body is something that I need even if I'm sad. Running my business and showing up for my clients is something that I need to do even if I don't feel 100%. So my goal my challenge for people who are struggling with motivation, because I've been there, it's make a goal for yourself and make a promise to yourself. One, make a goal that has to do with the why of the thing that you're struggling with motivation for. If you're feeling unmotivated for school, I would write down a why for why am I even doing school? And then I would set a goal based on your why. Something else that's really important is the consistency, discipline side of things. Telling yourself, maybe writing down on a piece of paper, I'm holding myself accountable to making X goal happen. Write the goal down, make a promise to yourself, and tell someone about it. Motivation is tough. I mean, it's a lot easier when you're motivated, but around this time of the year, I think a lot of us struggle with motivation. And also, my challenge for you too, it's like, don't wait until the new year. I know how easy it is to say, I'm going to wait till January 1st to start, but we don't have anything, like the future doesn't exist. What exists right now is the present moment. And so if you have a goal, I challenge you to just start. You got this, okay? Now, the next thing I want to chat about is, I'm reading some of these. We have routine. Staying in routine. It kind of goes back to the whole consistency thing. Routine, new habits. Honestly, I should probably record an entire episode on habit building before the new year starts. I think that might help you guys. Let me know if that's interesting to you. But something that's really important with routines that I've found is you have to be consistent for at least a week with a routine. And the first week is not easy. Waking up at 6 a.m. has been tough. And let me tell you, the past few days, I have definitely fallen out of my 6 a.m. routine. I'm not as consistent as I was when I first started. And I know for a fact, if I just hold myself to it for 1 week, I will get back into that routine. So if you're struggling with routine, tell yourself, I'm going to do it for literally 7 days. Don't tell yourself, I'm doing this for an entire year, because that is overwhelming, very overwhelming. So make a small, doable promise to yourself with routine setting. Okay, here's another one. We talked about being independent in a relationship. You got to make sure you're filling your cup every single day. Body image, the pressure of needing to be skinny and not gain weight. I talked about this at the beginning of the episode. I've been feeling this pressure. I mean, honestly, like, I think working in social media, I don't really talk about this a lot, and specifically being a fitness instructor, you guys already know this probably, but like, there is a body type that most fitness instructors have. And something that I've struggled before with for being insecure about is definitely like having more curves than the average instructor. I feel like my abs like don't always look like this perfectly, I guess, like six-pack shredded look. Like if we're getting like heart to heart here, friend to friend, I've definitely struggled with that before. And what I'm learning is, one, I was obviously informed I have insulin resistance, which can make it really hard to lose weight. So don't get mad at yourself if you've been trying to lose weight and it's been really hard, because I didn't even know I had that. And I've been having that my entire life. If I'd known that my body was struggling with that for like my entire life, I think I would have been a hell of a lot nicer to myself when my body wasn't a tiny little twig like the other second graders in my class. So I really, really just want you to know that you are so beautifully made. Your body is how it is for a reason, okay? And it's okay to want to lose weight. It's okay to want to look a different way than you do, but like, check in with yourself on why you want that. I've had a bit of a perspective shift lately, as in yesterday, just learning that I had insulin resistance. My perspective really shifted on fitness. Like, basically when I work out, it helps with the insulin it helps me be more insulin sensitive, which is like a good thing. So now my perspective for eating and fitness is like, I want to heal this health problem that my body's going through. And it's really cool when you like decide you're going to work with your body, not against it. So I'm like, I want to eat to help my body. I want to work out to help my body. And thankfully Pilates is still going to help me. Thankfully. I would never give that up. But like, actually though, I think it's really cool, like no matter how your body looks or how whatever comments anyone's made about it, like your body it's a temple, it's a powerhouse, it's keeping you going. So meet it where it is, love it where it is, and just know that the other person you're comparing yourself to was made a certain way for a certain reason, and the way that they're like, it's like comparing two pieces of art together. You can't compare two pieces of art together. They're just totally different. So I challenge you, if you feel those feelings, to just stop consuming the content that's making you feel like that, if it's on social media, and start being nicer to yourself and realize that your body it's doing its thing, and work with it and love it. Be empowered. I know it's easier said than done, and I'm right there with you, my girls, my queens. Okay. Another thing that I really want to talk about, oh my gosh, is thinking that crying is bad and that I should hold my emotions in. I am the queen of crying. I love to cry, but I've been there. I used to be really embarrassed of crying in public. I'd cry every single day before school, and I know that sounds like a lot, but I genuinely I cried so much. Something I've really learned as I've gone through my self-growth journey is that crying is a form of releasing pent-up trauma, emotions, suppressed feelings inside of us. We have to release it. Crying should be something that is like, crying is cool, okay? Crying is awesome. So if you need to cry, I challenge you to just let yourself cry. I don't think anyone's going to think anything less of you. If anything, I think people are going to be there for you and be like, I'm here for you. So let's make crying cool. Obviously, we don't want to be like sad all the time, but like, there's no shame in crying. Okay. Let's see. Something else is, I want to make the first move. I really want to. Okay. I don't know if this is about like guys or about what, but like, I've always been the girl that has texted guys first. I text friends first. If I want something, I make it happen. I've always been that way. And it is so freaking terrifying, let me tell you. But it's genuinely opened doors for me that would not have opened had I not taken a leap of faith and gotten out of my comfort zone. So if there is a girl or a guy or anyone you want to be friends with, reach out to them. Don't be shy. If they think you're weird because you wanted to make a friend, then they clearly aren't a good friend. So it's nothing about you. Also, I'm learning, like, there's people I've wanted to be friends with in the recent weeks, and I've reached out and tried to make plans to hang out, and like, they just aren't reciprocating. And I just have been trying not to take it personally. Like, everyone has their own problems, and a lot of time our problems genuinely, like, a lot of times when we have rejection, it has nothing to do with us. And also too, like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? They're going to say no, or they're going to say yes. Try to keep the mentality of they're going to say yes. Okay? You got this. And we're going to do one more, because I love these, you guys, is I would say, I'm reading these. Eating. Holiday overeating. So something that I have really been kind of trying to like figure out and become more aware of is just the practice of intuitive eating, especially around the holidays. Like, something that I've struggled with before is feeling like there's just a lot of delicious baked goods. First of all, baked dessert goods are my weakness. I freaking love them. But there's something about when like you're home for the holidays and there's food laying out all over the place and it's just cozy vibes. And I find myself mindlessly just eating food a lot, which is, it's okay. But I think also too, it can be a bad thing when we sometimes can cope with our emotions by eating not consciously, if that makes sense. So what I'm trying to say is, like, food is amazing. Food is fuel. We love food. But I think a lot of times, like, I've personally struggled with this, is when I'm going through something or feeling an emotion, I try to block out that emotion by eating food, like sweets that I love and make me feel really happy, like hot chocolate. I love hot chocolate. And as a result, it's not a good thing because it doesn't allow me to work through the emotion I'm feeling. It just blocks it temporarily. Intuitive eating is cool, and mindful eating is really cool because essentially you're becoming aware of how you're feeling in the moment, and it helps a lot by figuring out what food does my body need right now, what nutrients do I need, and then what emotions am I feeling right now are my emotions causing me to have these specific cravings? It's a really empowered way of eating food, and it essentially allows you to separate your emotions from the food that you're putting into your body. It's kind of like, I like to think of it like a car. If your car could have feelings, imagine we have the regular gas that your car needs, and then we have like the diesel gas that your car doesn't need. It's for like 18-wheeler trucks. If your car was having a hard day and was feeling really sad and it was like, oh my gosh, like I'm so upset, like let's pump in the diesel fuel. Yeah, it might give your car a boost in the moment, make you feel better, but like long term, your car isn't going to work through what they were experiencing. Food is not good. Food is not bad. Should not have morality attached to it. Food is food. It's fuel. And it definitely is really, really cool when you can learn that your emotions don't have to control the way you eat. So if you're nervous about holiday overeating, listen to your body, listen to your mind. And if you feel like you're overeating and you can't stop eating, I definitely think what's helped me a lot before is like stopping myself in that moment and asking myself, how am I feeling? Doing a little self-check-in moment. And then a lot of times I'll realize I'm bored, or I'll realize I feel upset, or I feel some type of way. And it helps me make sure that I don't overeat, which can in turn make my stomach really, really hurt. And then bad things happen after that. Like my stomach will be like, I'll have like an upset stomach for the rest of the day because I ate too much of a type of food, whatever. That has really helped me. And I'm not a nutritionist, okay? I'm a health coach, but I cannot tell you like what to do or what not to do in terms of like what foods to eat and how much to eat, all that stuff. But like genuinely from personal experience, like that is something that has been the most helpful thing ever in terms of healing all of my food struggles. Is just learning like food does not have morality. It is fuel. It is pure fuel to keep you alive. Okay. We're gonna do one more question just for fun. Direction in life. What do I do? If you're in your 20s and you're about to graduate college, or you graduate college already, or you're 50 years old, whatever age you are, I think we all struggle sometimes with knowing if we're going in the right direction and where to even go. And I think in these periods of time, transition periods, I like to call it, it's a beautiful time to grow. And I wanted to tell you this from personal experience, like you don't have to have it figured out. To this day, I genuinely don't know what's going to happen in my life. I have no idea what's going to happen. No one does. I can plan things. I can say this is my year plan, whatever, but it never happens the way that we think. So when it comes to direction in life, I pray. I always pray. I like give up everything to God. I'm like, God, you have my business. It's yours, not mine. I don't know why you gave this to me, but you did. And take control of it. I need your help. I need your guidance. I literally pray to God, and God speaks to us in really cool ways. Sometimes I'll read something like when I learned to I'm like totally like backtracking here, but when I quit my full-time job last February, I was freaking out because I didn't know what was going to happen with my online studio that I launched. Shout out Spice Studio. It's almost been a year of having my own studio, which is super cool. Go check it out if you haven't already. I'll link it below. But I was really scared. I didn't know how many signups I'd get after I gave everyone like a month free, and then I wasn't sure how many trials would convert. So I prayed. I literally prayed. I was getting back into my relationship with God, and I just prayed for guidance. And it was really cool because God works in like insanely cool ways. I opened my devotional that I was reading, Sadie Robertson's Live on Purpose devotional. 10 out of 10 recommended for anyone. It's awesome. And the devotional was about quitting your job. I'm not even joking. It was insane. What's even cooler is that I told my parents after I quit my job, I had such a peace about quitting my job. And they were like, obviously like, oh my gosh, what? That's kind of crazy. But I told them about how I prayed. And then the craziest thing, you guys, was that the Bible verse that I got from the devotional was the same Bible verse that my dad was studying in his Bible study that week. So I had so much peace about what God was leading me to do next. I didn't know where that was going to go. I couldn't have predicted that I'd end up moving to New York City, moving back to Florida, working with all these different brands, with in-person events, seeing you guys in person. Like I didn't know any of this would come to be. But that's the cool thing about life, is we just never know where it's going to go. We have to take it day by day, step by step. We have goals and dreams for a reason. They're not random. We dream things for a reason. And I challenge you to take the first step today to making your big dream happen. I challenge you to pray. Pray to God, ask Him for some guidance. And I challenge you to listen to your intuition and your gut feelings about where you are in your life right now. A lot of the times our gut can dictate if we're in the right or wrong thing. I told you in my previous relationship, I just knew it wasn't the right thing for a couple of years and I just ignored it, even though the person was a great person. So this is a great way to end the episode. I feel like we've been a little all over the place, but kind of a cool like wrap up episode for 2022. Actually, I think there's one more next week before the year closes. But my challenge for you today is just take it one day at a time. No matter where you are, if you're single, if you're talking to somebody, if you're in a relationship, if you're working a full-time job, if you don't have a job, if you're in school, wherever you are in life right now, take it one day at a time. Make sure you are giving yourself the things you need every day. Even for 5 minutes, just taking a step back, taking a deep breath, checking in with yourself, and continuing on. Life is crazy. Life is confusing. Life is overwhelming. Life is mysterious, but life is beautiful. And your life is beautiful. Never compare your beautiful life to anyone else's, because your life is here for you for a reason. And God is working through you. No matter what obstacles or circumstances you're in right now, He is working through you. And it's all going to make sense one day. And I'm always here for you. So if you're ever feeling just down or whatever, or happy, if you're feeling amazing, hit me up on Instagram. DM me anytime about anything at all. You know where to find me. I'm sweaty and I know it. And I'll link it in the show notes below for a direct link. Seriously, DM me. I love talking to you guys. And you guys are seriously like just awesome people. I'm so grateful to have this community. I always say it. And I can't wait for what's to come for all of us. So anyways, have an amazing Christmas. I'm sending you so much love and keep shining this week. All right. Stay sweaty. I love you. And I'll see you next week. Bye, my gorgeous queen.